to Read This Next. We want to help you find your next favorite book with suggestions for titles on different topics. Our focus for February is romance. The fantastic thing about a romance novel is that you get a guaranteed happy ending every single time, and we can always use a little more happiness. This month, we have suggestions for both historical and contemporary romances. So why not try both? Shall we begin? Historical romances are always popular, and some of the best are regencies. Our first title is The Grand Sophie by Georgette Heyer. Georgette Heyer is the undisputed queen of the Regency romance. Her books are so immersed in the time period, you would think she had experienced it firsthand. And Sophie is an unforgettable protagonist. If you love watching the protagonists in a Regency romance get to know each other, try The Trouble with Dukes by Grace Burrows. When a Scotsman whose wartime nickname is the Duke of Murder struggles to adjust to his new life in London society, only Miss Wyndham appreciates his struggles or his wit. But she can't afford to encourage his friendship or his attentions, since she has to evade her family's meddling, as well as a villain's attempts to blackmail her into marriage. Another book with an appealing heroine is What the Duke Doesn't Know by Jane Ashford. A comedy of errors and manners ensues when the daughter of an English trader first accuses and then recruits a recently retired naval officer into her plans for revenge. Miss Benson is half Pacific Islander and unimpressed with the etiquette of London society. Lord James Gresham is bored and beginning to agree with her perspective. A more serious title is An Extraordinary Union by Alyssa Cole. Posing as a mute slave to spy for the Union is dangerous enough, but Elle also has to work with Malcolm, a Scottish immigrant posing as a Confederate soldier in the same household. She can trust his commitment to their work, but how can she ever personally trust a man who lies so very well? Our last historical title today is Bringing Down the Duke by Evie Dunmore. Annabel Archer is one of the first women to attend Oxford, on a scholarship that requires that she promote the suffragette cause. The Duke of Montgomery is willing to work with the Tories, if doing so will convince Queen Victoria to return his inheritance to him. What could they possibly have in common? And how can a radical ever change the mind of an aristocrat? If you love contemporary romances, we have some great titles for you. It Happened One Wedding by Julie James. Sydney Sinclair knows how to tell a good investment from a bad one, whether she has to decide on a company or on a relationship. And FBI agent Vaughn Roberts is a bad investment. He's also her sister's future brother-in-law, and he's going to use every minute of being his brother's best man to change the maid of honor's assessment of him. Intercepted by Alexa Martin also features a man out to change a woman's mind about who he is. Marley started dating NFL wide receiver Chris in high school, but 10 years later, they're still not engaged, and she's still not accepted by the wives of the other players. When Chris cheats on her, she dumps him and begins to create a new life for herself. But quarterback Gavin thinks that new life should definitely include him. Sometimes other people in our lives know us better than we know ourselves. In The Bride Test by Helen Hoang, Kai believes his autism means he can't feel love like other people do. But his mother wants him married. She believes she's found him a wife, and all they need to do is get to know each other. Since Esme has traveled from Vietnam to the US to get an education and find her father, how can Kai just send her back? Another book about a couple forced into getting to know each other is The Flat Share by Beth O'Leary. People share flats all the time, but Tiffy and Leon aren't so sure how they'll share a one-bedroom with a stranger. But she really needs a place to live, and he really needs the extra money. They work opposite shifts. They'll never see each other. They don't even have to meet. They'll communicate via post-it notes and just stay strangers. Getting to know someone without meeting them might be easier than pretending to love someone you didn't choose. Act Like It by Lucy Parker. All of London knows that Lainey Graham got dumped by her co-star because they heard about it before she did. Now, the producers of their play have decided a new romance would help them at the box office, but they want her to pretend to date Richard, the villain of the play and of the tabloids. If Lainey's a good enough actress to convince everyone that she's falling in love with her ex-boyfriend 6 days a week on stage, she can fake a romance with a temperamental star, right? That's it. Those are our titles for today. We hope you enjoy these selections. All of today's titles are available digitally through the library's website. And for more reading suggestions, call the Crystal Lake Public Library. Thank you so much for making us part of your day, and remember to keep reading